Hi, I'm Melanie from Nova Scotia, Canada, and this is Adventures in Groceryland. This week follows a $62 grocery and household item weekly spend, and it shows how if there are meals that you want to make that are a little more expensive or have ingredients that are a little pricier than what would warrant purchasing them all in one weekly budget, that you can source them over a several week period. So I have made a more expensive meal this week than the majority of what our meals consist of. But what you'll see is some of the ingredients that we've already had, already in the household, because I've purchased them over the last several weeks. There's a few things that we always have, no matter what, and we call those pantry staples. This is an easy way to maintain a budget, but also be able to cook more luxurious items. Check it out. Let me know what you think. I almost forgot. One evening this week, we met one of my coworkers. We spent the evening with them, and there is no supper to show as a result. Also, just a reminder to everybody moving forward, this is going to be the last week where I have hey, this is what I bought this week. And then later in the week, hey, this is the video showing the meals that I made. I'm going to combine those together starting next week. That will be on Friday. And Monday's release will be garden updates. So for anybody who has been following along, I'm thinking that I'm going to re-release some of the footage that I've already taken, kind of as a precursor to anybody that hasn't watched that video showing, hey, this is kind of how we've started the container garden, and then another release. This is how we are moving forward. So just keep that in mind. Some more videos to come. And I'm actually really excited to share the garden. This is new to us. Container gardening exclusively is very new to us. And I'm curious to see how the summer's going to go. Leftover sandwiches, pickles, and dilled carrots for lunch. I am on my own for supper tonight. It has been really hot the last couple of days. Even though it's a little bit cooler today, I just want something simple, nothing big and elaborate. So I am going to make some grilled cheese sandwiches, and I'm pretty excited about it. So far, so good. The sandwiches turned out great. I'm hungry. Part of Operation Freezer Purge, I found these old tart shells in the freezer. Took them out, so I'm going to bake them because I've got a couple package mixes somewhere. I just know what, I just got to dig for them. I think I have a butter tart, and I think I also might have lemon tarts, and so I'll take a look, see what I can find, and that will determine what I'm going to make. I've got the oven starting to preheat, needs to be at 375 degrees. And once we hit that, then I will bake these for 10 to 14 minutes. I'm actually going to bake them for 10 and check them and then determine if they need to go back in longer. I have a tendency to overcook baked goods sometimes, so I'd rather err on the side of checking it early. I found two choices. I actually had 3 packs of this luscious lemon curd. I have one True North butter tart. This has been discontinued for, I'm going to say 1.5 to 2 years. So this is an oldie but a goodie. My very last one, I'm deciding on what I'm going to make. But one thing that I don't need to decide about is I'm definitely going to keep my eyes open now that I realize I've got a couple more options. I'm going to keep my eyes open for a good buy on some tart shells. I had them in for 13 minutes. I should have only left them in for 12. They're a little more done than what I would like, but they're not burnt. So that's good. Not burnt is good. So we are going to go with True North butter tart. There is 1/4 cup of butter, 1/4 cup of water in here. I'm going to heat it, and then I'm going to add 1 egg and whisk that all together. The egg is in there. And then I pour this into the pre-cooled, pre-cooked tarts. All right, here we go. Very carefully. I'm worried I'm going to run out, so I'm going a little bit lighter, and I can always top these last 6 up if I end up having leftovers. I always worry I'm not going to have enough to get me through when it's something like this, when you're pouring a filling into a set amount of... It's like the deviled eggs I made last week. Am I going to have enough filling? I don't want to put too much in the early ones, because then I might not have enough left for the last ones. Okay, so I do have left, so I can really top these ones up. Oh. Oven has preheated. I even have a little bit too much. Maybe this one could have a little more. Very carefully when I go to put this in the oven, or the filling will slosh out over the side. Okay, that's good. That's enough. Now let's get this in the oven. Those look good. I had a steady hand. There was no spills, so that's good. These were bubbling like mad, literally 20 seconds ago when I opened up the oven door and took them out. They're already starting to settle down a bit. These definitely have to cool, like crazy cool, before we could even consider eating them. Having them on this cooling rack off of the hot tray that was in the oven, plus also this has like space underneath of it, allows air circulation to flow underneath of it, so they'll cool a lot faster just having them on this. Hot dogs for lunch today. We'll use up the last of the buns that we have, and those buns I don't think are from last week. I think those buns are from the week before last, so best get them used up right away. We are having wings for supper tonight. We are going to do a little unboxing here of these Nashville hot style chicken wings. So my big question was, is the hot already on it? Oh, that is on the side. That's what I like to see. It's still semi-frozen. Same with this. This is a dressing. What is this? Ranch dipping sauce. And then those look amazing. Those are nice big wings. I'm excited. Okay, we're going to get these in the air fryer. We've got wings cooking in the air fryer. Almost ready. These look nice and crispy. The handsome one is getting them out. Very, very excited to see these. And he wants the hot sauce. Ooh, look in there. We put it in the basket, which rotates around, which knocked some of the breading off. We debated basket or the shelves. Wings looking really good. This is the Handsome One Soda Stream that he got for Christmas. We are making some lemon lime bubbly. This is the hot sauce that came with it. The Handsome One just wants to try it first before he puts it all over the wings. And I won't eat it at all, so none for on my wings. And I've just got a little teeny bit of barbecue sauce for dipping. And this is just Kraft Hickory barbecue sauce that I got for probably, I don't know, 67 cents, 85 cents, something cheap. Cheap. This is Graybeard. He's hanging around over here because I have in my hand a tart. A little tart. Crave dinners for lunch today. This is a quick dinner. That's good for two reasons. We are having some company this afternoon, so not a lot of dishes or anything required for prep. And number two, it helps to eat down some of the items that are in the freezer. Looks good. I'll just add salt and pepper to taste. I have been craving lasagna for a while. I slowly started accumulating the ingredients that I need. I got the lactose-free cottage cheese maybe 2 weeks ago. I already had tomato sauce and canned tomatoes. I thought that we had enough lasagna noodles, but when we went to check, there was only 3 noodles inside. So that's what prompted me to purchase the noodles with this week's groceries. Ground beef. Now, this isn't the ground beef that I just got, really good deal. This is older packaged ground beef we had in there, which should get eaten up first. Onion and spinach. So I am going to start getting everything ready for the lasagna. Ooh, and cheese. One moment. A couple weeks back when I stocked up on cheese, I got this Italian style shredded cheese blend. It is provolone, pizza mozzarella, parmesan, and asiago, and we will use this to top the lasagna. So the cottage cheese will go in the middle. The cheese blend will go on top. I'm cooking the ground beef and the onions in the steamer in the microwave. I find that's the easiest way to cook ground beef from frozen to cooked. Found this in the cupboard, so I'm going to use this for spices. It is going to get mixed in with the meat and tomato sauce and tomato mixture. I'll add water if I need to make it thinner. So the key, if you've never made lasagna before, the key to making lasagna is to make sure that there is enough liquid in the tomato paste or whatever you're using as your broth to cover everything so that the noodles don't dry out. You cannot have dry lasagna noodles. It does not work. This is after 5 minutes, so I'll just break this all up. This looks great, and because I've already got this container dirty, I'm just going to use this to add the tomatoes and the tomato sauce all together. 1 can of tomatoes. Okay, I'm going to start assembling the lasagna. First thing I'm going to do is cover the bottom of my pan. This is a 8.5 by 11 pan. I'm going to cover that in a thick amount of the sauce. Make sure there's lots of liquid because I'm going to set the first 3 noodles on top of that. Now 3 more noodles. Now I'm going to make the cheese and spinach mixture. I'm going to use an egg and the cottage cheese. I'm going to whisk the egg, stir in the cottage cheese, add some spinach, and then we'll use that as a layer in the lasagna. Depending how thick you want that cottage cheese mixture, you could use 2 eggs and an entire package of cottage cheese. I'm using 1 egg and half the package of cottage cheese. I threw a couple handfuls of spinach in here and I'm stirring it up. This is not an exact science, and I did fill in like a little teeny couple spots like here and here with a little bit extra of the, I'm pushing down. I'm compressing this. Oh, of course I got a broken piece. Short piece. Now I will top this with the rest of the sauce and then top that with cheese and get it in the oven. I've got the oven on 350. I might switch it up to 375. It's been a while since I made lasagna. I find lasagna is an expensive dish to make, and that's why I source the ingredients over time. Tomato sauce and diced tomatoes are items that I consider pantry staples, so I always have them, and when they go on sale, I always buy more because it's always something that I'm going to use in some kind of a dish. It's the other stuff. It's the lasagna noodles. Now, I have enough left over from the package that I just bought to make another lasagna. And there's actually, I only used half of the cottage cheese. So I have that left for another recipe of something as well. So this is pretty full. I have it setting on top of a baking tray to catch any boilovers so that the oven stays clean. I don't put the cheese on top now. I will put the grated cheese on top when it comes out of the oven, and the heat of the dish will melt the cheese. I thought I set the timer on this. The handsome one said, "How much longer for the lasagna?" And I said, "Well, what does the timer say?" And he said the timer's not on. So he brought it out. I'm not exactly sure how long it was in here. I'm testing. Nope. 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 Not yet. The tarts are not lasting very long. Out of a dozen, there's only 3 left. I put it back in for an additional 15 minutes. It's ready now. So it is cooling, but now we are going to top it with the cheese. And it's hot enough that I won't need to do much. The cheese will melt itself. So we'll just get that topped. Cheese is on, and we're just letting this cool and rest. I've tented some tin foil over top of the lasagna outside of the oven because I want the cheese to melt. So I want to keep it so that on the top it is hot, but I also don't want it to be inside a very hot oven because I would like the lasagna itself to cool enough that we can cut it and it'll hold its form as we are serving it. This looks pretty amazing. I'm going to serve it up. Lasagna. Looks pretty good. I am on a mission to clear out some little bits and pieces out of the freezer. This is 3 chicken strips. These, when I very first started the $23 challenge, when it was just myself on the challenge, and the handsome one was still eating house food, these are something that he asked me to pick up back then. These, if you can even believe this, think way, 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 way back to a little challenge that I did. Might have even been the $21 challenge. Maybe it was like a secondary challenge. But this is a 1.5 meatballs. And if you laugh to yourself, what in the world would you save 1.5 meatballs for? Well, this is enough for me to use as meat on like a little mini pizza on English muffins or something. I am going to cook both of these, and we are going to figure out using this stuff and just getting them out of the freezer. Other items that we are going to use to help us eat up the little scraps that I just pulled out of the freezer. The chicken strips. There's a wrap. I'm going to cut this English muffin in half. That is pizza sauce, pickled peppers. There's onions in here, 1 mushroom. We'll use the meatballs on little mini pizzas. The handsome one is using flavored mayo that we got the other week. He is getting the wrap ready for himself. He's going to put cucumbers on it. I have the little pizzas. I just need to top with cheese and get them in the oven. Lunch for the handsome one. These are my little mini pizzas for lunch. Quick lunch today. I want to use up this half jar of classical pasta sauce. I'm going to make some penne. We're going to throw in some spinach and some bacon bits, and that is it. Simple, simple. There is one of these chicken burgers left. I think I'm going to just throw this very quickly in the air fryer, kind of like grilling it, and I'll slice this up, and this can be inside the pasta as well. Just threw the pasta in. This has been in for 10 minutes. I'm going to flip it over. I changed my mind. I decided not to do spinach. I'm just going to add a little bit of broccoli. Or a lot of broccoli. Whoops. This is the chicken burger. I am going to cut this. I feel happy this is cooked through, so woo, steam. We are going to just cut it into a bunch of little bite-sized pieces. I added bacon. I added a little bit of ranch powder, a little bit of seasoning. I might add some spices as well. This is looking good. Meals don't have to be extremely time consuming. This was incredibly fast. Yum. More delicious lasagna for supper tonight. Yum. Leftovers are always fantastic. A little bit of a different kind of smoothie for lunch today. I am going to use up some oat nog. The yogurt is done, so no more yogurt. This was the frozen banana out of the freezer. Yay. So that's getting used up. I am going to add protein powder, but this is a salted caramel protein powder, so I'm not adding fruit because that might be weird. Caramel raspberry, caramel blueberry, but caramel banana sounds fine. I'm going to add some peanut butter, and we are going to add some spinach that I have in here. See what this is like. I feel like when things are green, that means they're good for us. I don't know necessarily if it's going to taste good for us, but I have high hopes. Caramel, peanut butter, banana smoothies. You know what? These are vegan. Yeah. There's not a single thing in here that's not plant-based. Yay! It's quite good. I can actually really taste the caramel, and I can really taste the peanut butter. Very delicious. This was a win. We are having hamburgers for supper tonight. We are eating up some of the homemade hamburgers that I have left in the fridge. They're the older ones, so they need to go first. And we also need to eat up some spinach dip. I bought some spinach dip. Oh man, this is weeks ago at Costco. It came in a 2-pack. That's way too much for us. I split the 2-pack. My sister took one, I took the other. But we are going to use this spinach dip as it's coming close to you need to use it up by. We're going to use it as a base. We're going to add in broccoli. I'm going to add in some grated cheese, and we are going to make stuffed mushrooms to go with the burgers. So that's kind of something different and unique. If I didn't mention anything about this broccoli, I bought this broccoli, I think 2 weeks ago. The intent was I was going to make broccoli salad with it, but I didn't properly store it in the fridge, in a container, in anything, and it got a little wilty really fast. So nobody wants wilty broccoli in a fresh broccoli salad, but cooking it in with a stuffing is a great way to use this up. See, this is the rest of it. See how wilty it is? Still certainly edible, but not for fresh eating. I've got the broccoli and the spinach dip mixed together. I'm now adding in cheese. We will get the stems out of the mushrooms and get these all in there. I'm actually really looking forward to these. Very exciting, very exciting. I very carefully pulled the stems out of the mushrooms after I washed them, of course. I'm saving the stems because they're perfectly fine for in cooking recipes, that kind of stuff. Now let's get these stuffed. These look really good. I can't wait to get them barbecued. I was content having the burgers and the stuffed mushrooms. The handsome one said, "Can we please have some onion rings?" We are going to put them in the air fryer in the oven instead of the smaller air fryer. I was thinking put them in the basket, but we're worried that the rotation will beat the coating off of the rings. These are way bigger than what I was thinking. So when you these are pretty sturdy onion rings. We will see how these turn out. There's still at least half the package left. So interesting for a quick side. The bag says 5 minutes because they're the quick crisp. Burgers, onion rings, and stuffed mushrooms. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. We were going to have something different for lunch and the rest of the lasagna for supper tonight, but we're both really hungry, so we're going to eat this now as late lunch slash supper, and then later on tonight we will have something lighter as, I guess, not a snack, but just something lighter to eat later on, like a later supper. We ate a pretty heavy, wasn't lunch, it wasn't supper, it was mid-afternoon meal. So just as a quick item, belly-filling item. It's later now. It is, I don't even want to say what time it is. It's like 10:30. We are just going to have burgers. These are the homemade burgers that I want to get eaten up. The handsome one says he wants to have a double. That's fine. That works. And I'll just have a regular. We really enjoyed the stuffed mushrooms. We are having them again. We had the stuffing left, but I put a little more on these ones, made them a little bit more aggressive because I had some stuffing left. I have a little bit left in this container. I'm not sure. I should try just to force it onto these couple because then, what else am I going to do with it if I don't put it on these? Anyways, this is just some veggies that we can have with our burgers tonight. Again. The stuffed mushrooms kind of melted a little bit, but mostly okay. Burgers are looking good so far. We just need to put the toppings on and plate the rest of everything up. Looks delicious. Burgers and stuffed mushrooms. We absolutely loved the lasagna. We did contemplate the last 2 servings, so the last meal. We contemplated putting that in the freezer for another date in the future, but we really wanted to eat it. It was delicious. And so we ate the same thing 3 times this week. That's okay. And that's okay for you. If you have items that create leftovers, it's totally okay to eat those in a week's time frame. Save the money, bank that extra money, and that will allow you next week to be able to splurge perhaps on more items. Let me know what you think. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. And if you haven't, I would really appreciate it if you would do so. It will help me. I hope you all have a fantastic Canada Day weekend.